Welcome to our latest AutoNext review, which is the Audi S6 Avant e-tron. There's been a few changes with Audi, which we'll discuss in a minute. And the first thing I'd like to do, because this is the S model, the S model has some extra performance that can be unlocked through launch control. So let's have a first impression. So hold the brake. Oof. Well, it's quick enough. It's 550 horsepower with the launch control, and then during regular use it's a modest 500 horsepower if you need anything more. But maybe you can see a little bit. I'm sorry, I'm hidden a little bit behind this very, very big screen. One which, to be honest, I'm not sure about. It's curved and it sticks out a little bit weird here. Yeah, I've seen way better. Audi, I know you can do way better than this. It's it's a shame that because it looks a little bit more on the cheaper side, I would say. But yeah, we're here with the Audi S6 Avant e-tron, and if you didn't know, Audi has changed their naming convention, where everything with an even number becomes a EV essentially, and then everything with an odd number, so like A5 or S5, will become an EV. So that meant, in what they said, is that there's not going to be a ICE RS6 anymore, and there also wasn't going to be an RS4 anymore with an ICE. The newest S4 with an ICE is called the S5. So it was all a little confusing. I could understand why they wanted to differentiate it the way they did, but as we're talking now, Audi has confirmed that they'll be changing their naming strategy again back to what it used to, because customers they were just confused, like, why can't I buy an A4 anymore? Because there currently isn't an A4, and so I don't know how long it takes, but you'll see the RS4 again, you'll see the RS6 again, with hopefully a V8, but we'll have to see. But right now we're here with the S6 Avant, and it's a full electric. Honestly, we've been driving, and it's such a super nice cruiser. It's a very Audi EV in that essentially most of the time you'll have to brake yourself. You can push it into brake, but it feels more like just a normal car, and that's the sentiment I've been getting. It's a normal car. It's a very nice car to drive. It rides on air suspension, so it is very comfortable. It weighs 2,300 kilos. With the air suspension, you don't really feel it. You have this stunning Bang & Olufsen sound system. It doesn't have the cool tweeters anymore that come up like they used to, but still, it's a very nice system. With the touch of a button below on my seat, I have massage, and I can check between relaxing, balance, and stretch. It's not, or I'm not sure if it's the massage where it's coming out. I thought it wouldn't be, but I'm a big fan of massage in the car. When you're on long trips and you start to feel a little bit sore, a little bit tired, you push the massage, and it can push you back into the right spot, and you're like, oh yes, and you're good to go for another few hours. It's extra stimulation, works very nice. Something also which I'm not sure if you have noticed yet, but we have something that it came from the Q8 e-tron, which was originally called the eTron, and that's the mirrors. And the mirrors, they're the camera mirrors, and they're a little bit better integrated. They sit a little bit higher than they were in the eTron, because essentially in the eTron they were a little bit too low, so you would have to look down constantly. And once you got used to it, it was okay, but I think it scared a lot of clients away from the option, because essentially they were like, ooh, this is too big of a change, I have to adjust where I'm looking at. Whereas now it's very intuitive. The field of view maybe is a little bit on the smaller side compared to a normal mirror, but in the dark they tend to work a lot better, I feel. Going back into the interior, I've said we have this very nice cabin. Sorry, we went into a 30 zone and it started beeping at me. That's also something with the interior, with the infotainment system. It's a big screen and there's a lot of things going on. I have the map here, then I have the radio, and then the latest settings, and it all looks a little bit overwhelming. Let's see if I can get to driver assist, and then yeah, there we go. Okay. No, but air suspension, such a great car. I've been a fan of the e-tron before, because I think, and also the e-tron GT, because essentially Audi does really nice EVs. The Q4 is more of an ID4, so I don't really count that as an Audi EV, but they take their time to develop their EVs, and it really shows, because they are what you want in an EV, and it's just comfort, daily usability, because it's mostly about the interior. You know it drives great. It drives very Audi-wise, very subtle, very calmly, no issues whatsoever. The only thing in the interior, some parts they do feel a little bit on the cheaper side than you would think of from an Audi A6. And then there's also the complicated the complicated screen. It's not really a screen, but there's so much going on here to change the mirrors. Yeah, you can also push the mirrors on this, but then it's silly because you can also do it on the touchscreen here. It's not really how I would have done this, because it looks quite messy down here. The steering wheel is nice. It has this. It's similar to what we've driven with the RS3. All very good, very well. Very nice glass roof here, fully panoramic. Maybe something important, and yeah, I won't be able to test this all too well. By the way, I just noticed if you put on your blinker, then you can see in the right side, and maybe you can see it over there. There's a green line going, and it tells you essentially if the way is free or if there's a car coming, which I think is a very cool touch to work with lights, because there's so much room in the front here. Going back to the range, Audi quotes up to or over 670 kilometers with the S6 Avant, and yeah, I won't be able to test it too well today, but right now we are at 97% of charge, and we have a 408 kilometers range left. So that does seem like Audi has overestimated itself, or maybe it has been used quite vigorously over the last few trips. But yeah, still 400 is very well. Audis, they charge very fast, and they hold their charge very high. The e-tron, that was the first thing that a lot of people complained, that the range was short, but I think in class it was the best in fast charging. Then the e-tron GT came out, and yeah, super fast charging again. So essentially as well here with the e-tron, the A6 e-tron, sorry. the names. They do get a bit confusing, but it's really nice. Everything works really well. And also with Audi, and I think that's a very clever thing they did from the start, is you can have 2 charging ports on each side. There's only one DC charger which is on the left side, but there's just an AC port as well on the right side. So depending on where your charging pole or charging cable has to go, you can choose left, right, and it releases you of the stress of the cable not being long enough, or that you having to drag the cable over the paintwork, and that's all a mess. Some people say Audi doesn't bring enough cars out, but when they bring out a car, they really mean the business, and I can see that this will sell very well. This is the edition 1, and it's priced at around 120,000 euros, which, truth be told, yeah, it's a lot, but you're getting 500 or 550 horsepower with the launch control, boost, and yeah, very nice massage. Everything you really want in a daily driver. And we've said about the C7 A6 all-road that it's such a nice car to drive because it has a lot of torque. It's so usable, and it's a little bit higher. And in a way, if you're not looking into getting an all-road and you're just looking for a good daily driver, this might be one of the best, especially with it being an Avant. And yeah, both Rob and I, we really love our estate cars, and it took a while for us to get some estate EVs, because essentially they were all first SUVs, and they're also too high, or the coupe SUVs, but that's a whole different subject that I can rant on. But here we have a very, very big car with a very big trunk, and it's just such a nice experience. It's also, I don't know if you've noticed this, but it's super, super quiet. Yeah, it's very well insulated. I feel like I'm going a bit on and on about maybe the whole thing about the interior wise, but this is really what you want with a car like an A6. You want to be comfortable day in and day out and stress-free. And I think this really does it. I think also the range maybe coming back. We've been driving for a while now, and I feel like it hasn't gone down. So whoever drove it last, he must have driven it quite vigorously, and maybe too fast as well. So the figure could or probably is a lot higher than it sits right now. Okay, maybe so just one thing that is really bad in the interior is the cameras outside. The image, it looks really flat, really grainy. I'm not sure what's up. Maybe it can be changed a little bit with a software update, but the cameras, they look really cheap, and I'm not sure how well they'll hold out at night as well, because they already look very, very grainy in broad daylight. So we'll have to see how that works out. Yeah, so with this being an electric car, it's most likely going to be used for business purposes as a company car, and yeah, it does what it needs to do, and that's everything you want. It's effortless, and Audi is all about comfort. This is a great car. So essentially most EVs, and the ones especially on the higher end of the spectrum, they'll be bought as company cars, which is with the current economic climate, it makes sense to buy an electric car. And I think this is one of the best we've driven. We have yet to drive the i5, so we're very interested in doing the comparison. Let us know. Do you want to see a head-to-head comparison between these two see what they perform with range. Let us know in the comments, and I'll make sure to read it, and maybe we'll do like an endurance test or something. I think that would be cool. So basically, I think that's it for now. I hope you enjoyed this review, and I'll see you in the next AutoNext review. Bye.